how's things in California?
A little chilly, but you guys nailed it in that last segment. I'm sitting here. I am trying to go to Pebble Beach today.
I'm
listening to you Nimrods talking about punching kangaroos and bears.
Listen, I tried to get to you, buddy. I did. I promise. Instead of jumping the ship and going to Pebble. Let's jump right into it, Matt. Last night, you go down 17-0.
I didn't. The team did.
You're right. Can you put a pin on why this continues to happen to this basketball team?
No. I mean, it's not due to a lack of discussion. And I really don't think I'd have to maybe watch last night's game back again to sort of see I don't think it's from a lack of oomph, at the start of the game. But they're getting buried. They can't get a stop. Every roll goes in for the other team. It's just what I can't get over is how it goes from bad to worse. Mm-hmm. That if there was a 9-0 run last night to start the game, they might have still won the game. They probably could have survived that. But the turnovers, the throwing it off people's shins, the failure to get a key rebound, those types of things go on and on. Is it I'm not sure that it's an effort thing. It might be an energy thing. I don't know what could be done differently or how it works. And you can't see it coming. You're not like, it looks like they're asleep or what have you. I do understand that Stanford has started hot against a lot of its opponents. Is that a travel in from the East? Those are just excuses. It's happened enough to this team, regardless of venue. It obviously is one of the main reasons they haven't had a good season. And
I touched on with Paulie. I said it at the beginning looks like the team's checked out, but then you see and you claw your way back in these games. So obviously they're not checked out as a team right now, so to say. Can the Syracuse basketball team win games when JJ is not scoring?
I wouldn't hold my breath on that. I don't see. He's far and away, without Donnie Freeman, he's far and away the best scoring option that they have. They just don't have enough other options. They don't shoot it well enough as a team. JJ's not a great shooter. He is a very good driver. If he doesn't, score, I would think 16 and up, it's hard to imagine them beating any good team.
Matt, I was discussing earlier, Chapel Moore played 5 minutes last night. Why can't he get those points minutes off the bench at this point? Yeah. And it seems like Jaquan Carlos, the offense runs better with him on the court at this point.
Yeah, and again, everybody at the start of the year wanted it the other way around, right? They wanted it the way it is. Elijah Moore just hasn't been able to contribute at this level, and he's not the only one. There's guys who have shown for stretches of time that they're just not bringing a lot to the table, and so I think all of that is being considered. The idea that Kyle Cuff is such an energy boost, I don't think he's a starter, but I think can some of that rub off? Can you play with that level of aggressiveness at the start of the game? Obviously that'll be addressed again prior to this next one. Carlos, that's what he does. I think Carlos, if everybody around him was really good, I think Carlos would be a really applicable player if he was playing with a bunch of studs and, could kind of do his thing where the scoring and stuff isn't really asked of him. I'm just thinking, flashing back to last night, a couple of defensive lapses and things like that. It just, if you're not bringing defense, what are you bringing? If you aren't scoring, you aren't playing defense, probably somebody else ought to be in there. So I think they'll shuffle it a little bit. I think could they change the lineup with more? I suppose. Is that a confidence shot to him? Maybe. But, starting the game and playing 5 minutes, we've seen that occasionally. That's the Fab Mello arrangement. And, obviously he didn't make much of a contribution in the game last night. So you got to find a way to get him in a position where he can succeed.
When you look big picture, of programs and Red being in his second year, and I'm not saying fire any coach. I'm not getting into any of that. how do you judge in today's day and age of college basketball of having a leash and trying to develop a team in 4 years when everyone wants the instant success right away?
Yeah, I mean, look, it tends to take time for coaches to implement their culture. I think what has led to some of the feeling here is that the perception is the culture was already in place because it's a continuation of Coach Boeheim, and that's not really the case. Red isn't coming from left field or completely off the radar. He's working with the institutional knowledge and things that are going here, but he still needs to find his voice and his legs as a head coach, and that does take time. It takes multiple recruiting cycles and that type of thing. I mean, I really think the story of this season continues to be the same. It's not changing, and that's that they just kind of missed a little bit in the portal. Mm-hmm. And my feeling is, yep, they missed. You acknowledge it, and you got to get better the next time. And if you don't, then you start to have some serious conversations. And I fully feel like this coaching staff, this regime, deserves another shot at it. And, they're taking their shot at it. If we're having the same conversation next year about a losing record and that kind of thing, then it's going to have to get pretty real.
Matt, you're around the team a lot. Do you see a difference in attitude and morale of this team at this point?
Well, last night in particular wasn't a lot of fun, right? Everybody comes back. It's 11:30 at night, and losing stinks,
Yeah.
And I think it wears on them. I mean, there's nothing like across the line. I think if people are trying to hear, oh, do you hear this guy bitching out that guy or whatever, that's not happening. So and you don't come back in these games without some togetherness and drive and instincts and that. So the material is, there's some capability there. But again, they're down there. Maybe their only NBA player, certainly the player with the highest ceiling, let's just say however you want to phrase it, second best player or whatever, and Donnie Freeman. That is definitely a significant loss. Not probably as significant as Starling, but they're just not whole. They haven't been basically the whole year. They weren't that great when they were all together in terms of just getting the cohesiveness. So I think they are reeling right now. I think they feel like they need a good break. They need something to go in their direction. And that all being said, I wouldn't count them out of the Cal game on Saturday night. They continue on this trip. I think talking with Red this morning a little bit, he likes the idea that this is a bonding experience to be on the road for a week and have the two games. It's not like a preseason tournament where you're, playing games 3 days in a row and then getting back on the airplane. They've got a team dinner tonight. They're going to the NBA game as a team on Friday and then suited up again on Saturday.
All right, let's step away from hoops, and you're going over to Pebble today. I see Rory already has a hole-in-one today over at Spyglass.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So,
we're going to take our chances, and if nothing else, it's a pretty drive down the coast, and maybe get in there and see a little golf, and get back up and rejoin everybody up in the Oakland area.
That's awesome, Matt. That's awesome. Thanks for your time as always, man.
Enjoy the rest of your trip, Matt.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
That's Matt Park. That's Matt Park, the voice of the Orange. Probably enjoying a week off from me.
I want to go to Spyglass.